The late adopter. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel and the new Bitcoin video. But this video we're gonna analyze the chart on the monthly time frame. We don't often look at monthly time frame on Bitcoin because it's quite boring. Like, why you wanna look at it day by day on the monthly time frame? But investors, hedge funds, big guys, Michael Saylor, they look at the monthly chart all the time. They come back and see, are we looking good or are we looking bad? So monthly chart is definitely what can show you some long-term prospect of where we're going. So in this video, we're gonna analyze the chart. Also, we don't like to analyze the monthly chart right now because it's kind of bearish, and I'm gonna show you all the bearishness on the chart. But, short term, also at the end of the video, we'll look at what's happening on the daily time frame as well, and you'll see that there might be some kind of hopium for nice bounce towards the upside. That said, let's see here what's happening here on the monthly time frame. And the first thing that pops in everybody said this is some kind of double top, and they might be correct in that one. Now for this double top to be confirmed, you gotta get below this line. This line is at 35,040, 35,000. So if we close on the monthly time frame below 35,000, give or take, we are pretty much confirming some kind of double top, a classical double top up here. And double top means you might drop substantially towards the downside. Now you can see here already that we are below the 10 moving average. This white line, this is a 10 moving average, so we are already below that, which is not actually a good sign, because if you look at previous bull markets, you kind of keep above the 10 moving average. Once you fall below 10 moving average, you kind of down, right? So you can see here that we try to stay above the 10 moving average for a while. We even pumped towards the upside and then dumped below 10 moving average, close below that, and right now we are kind of bearish because we are below this 10 moving average on the monthly time frame, right? But we are still not confirmed this double top yet, and this is gonna get confirmed below the 20 moving average. But by the time you get below 20 moving average, you're already some kind of bear market, so you already know that you're looking kind of bad. But it's some kind of confirmation that we are waiting for. Eventually that might happen. Now below these 35 levels, there is very little support until we get all the way down to some kind of 13,819. If you just remove the moving averages for a while here, you can see here, just by looking at these horizontal support and resistance line, there is not much support in this area up here. Like there is almost nothing. There is something up here I'm gonna show you, but it is very empty. And as soon as we get below this this 35,000, is gonna look very, very bad, because you are looking at some kind of 13,899 levels. 899 levels all the way down here for next support. There is actually around 20,000, and I'm gonna show you here, because on the weekly time frame there is technically previous top up here at 90,000, but even below that, where is it? Here below 31,000, 9,000, there is literally nothing. I mean literally nothing, no support below these levels. So if you fall below down here, there is no support before we get to 90,000. So below 30,000 and 90,000, there is like no support whatsoever. You can even look at the moving averages up here, how nicely they are confirming this. 200 moving average on the weekly is all the way at 19, 100 moving average is all the way up at 31. Even if you go to the monthly time frame, you'll see that 20 moving average is all the way at 35, and 50 moving average is all the way at 20 moving average. So below here, guys, if you fall below 31,000, if you fall below that, there is nothing below until we get to 18,000. So you might assume that it's gonna be some kind of drastic drop towards the downside. So we can technically not below. We can fall, but if we fall below 31,000, something like that, it's gonna be looking very, very bad. Now, why is this chart, beside this double top, why is this chart actually so bearish? Well, let me show you. Now first thing first, these tops goes higher and higher, so you got some kind of RSI divergence on the monthly time frame, which is quite bad. You might some TA guys might notice that there is hidden bullish divergence on the bottom side, but this is an unconfirmed hidden bullish divergence, unfortunately. So if we continue dumping down, and if we close the monthly below the 35, or just continue dumping down, and the next continue dumping down even more, this hidden bullish divergence will correct itself. There will be no hidden bullish divergence on the chart. So RSI divergences are a lag indicator, so we are not actually looking for, you know, reversal patterns. We are looking what has happened and what can it tell us. So up here it does tell us that we have been you know, we made a bearish divergence up here and we fell towards downside. We are below the 10 moving average, also very bad. There is one there are a few more other things that are bearish on the, you know, MACD up here. You'll see that MACD is creating the bearish cross. So you'll see here, let me just press this button up here again and just move a little bit up here so we can see it nicely. There we go. So you're gonna see that this bearish cross on monthly is kicking in. So if we drop a little bit more down, I think we're gonna get this bearish cross on the monthly time frame, which is quite bad because you know, down here, you know, it can zigzag on the monthly time frame up and down, but this is pretty violent move towards the downside. Also since we are going towards the upside and the momentum is going towards the downside, so that's also some kind of a bearish momentum towards the downside. Even my own indicator down here is telling us that you know, price is going up, the momentum is going towards the downside. So however you turn it around, it is bearish. I mean, there is literally very little you can pull out of the chart that says that this is a very bullish chart or something like that. So we don't like to look at too much on the monthly time frame, but you know, from time to time it's okay to check it out and see what's happening. So what can we expect from this monthly time frame? Well, we can expect some kind of support at 35,000 or this 20 moving average up here, right? On the monthly time frame, if this can hold, because we just said if we start falling below 30, actually it's 31,000 down here. If we start falling down, I mean, there is very little all the way down to 20,000. So if we for whatever reason start closing down here, we are looking at some kind of 90,000. So that's very bearish targets. So you know, some kind of financial world crisis has to happen, maybe World War III, who knows, and you know, you drop on the downside down there. But this is very important levels to hold around 35,000, and we definitely don't want to fall below that. So some kind of hopium right now is, you know, for some reason we're gonna hold this level. I think there is also this one up here at 34,000. We can try to get it back, but I don't think this is that important one. I think down the 20 moving average on the monthly time frame is very, very important. So as you see, monthly time frame looks very bearish, and you know, we hope that we might, you know, somehow get back above it, but you know, that's why we don't like to look at monthly time frame. That said, there is, you know, some kind of hopium that we might bounce towards the upside, and unfortunately it didn't play out as I actually said that it's gonna play out. So if you remember, last couple of days we've been talking about this move that goes something like this and then bounce towards the upside. Unfortunately this went down, this closed below 10 moving average, and not only that, we are continuing even towards the downside down here. I said after this move down below the 10 moving average, I'm gonna give it another day. I gave it another day. We tried to hold, get back above it, we failed, and right now we're dumping on the downside. So the question is, will we dump more to the downside? And I think there might be another move towards the downside before we get to the bounce. So why am I saying that? Well, down here there is support at 31,005 that we already crossed below, but this candle is not closed yet. Now what you're gonna notice up here that we have the divergence happening up here. So the price is technically, you know, going towards downside, the air side going towards the upside. Although laggy indicator, it might, if it's you know, once it starts getting lower, it's harder to push the price the air side towards downside, and you might create this this air side divergence that might actually push us towards the upside. On the 2 hourly, you might see that a little bit nicer down here. You can see the price. See the price is going down, the air side is going up. Now if you do drop a big moves towards downside, this might, you know, this might correct itself, but it might, you know, it might give us a nice push towards the upside. I'm still, you know, leaning more towards bullishness than bearishness, because even the momentum down here, it is waning out. We are going towards downside, the momentum is going towards the upside. It looks bullish, but you know, every time I think it looks bullish and we need some kind of pump, we don't pump. Now last thing I'm going to show you is difference between the monthly and the daily chart, and how this monthly chart, now we said this might dump on the downside, but this over here might pump towards the upside. Now if we invert the daily chart or the monthly chart, if you invert, you're gonna see the very similar patterns. Now these two patterns play out similarly. You have extension, hug, then you hug the pattern and you dump on the downside. This time we pumped a little bit and then trying for a dump. But this pattern is playing out here as well. You know, extension to upside, we dump down. A little bit different than in this up here. We are hugging it from the bottom side, and often from bottom I just dropped on downside. But in this move we are, you know, pulling it towards the upside. The question is right now, that's why I said we can maybe pull it a little bit more towards the upside before we dump on the downside, meaning, you know, pump, right? So that's why I'm saying that, I'm still looking towards bullishness up here, because these two patterns are kind of the same. And you got extension from the moving averages, you smack down on the moving averages. This one, oftentimes it just falls to the downside. Now this tries pushing it one more time towards the upside, and then maybe falling towards the downside. So we're gonna see how this plays out, but they are kind of the same patterns. That's why I think this move might pull us towards the downside. So monthly time frame, long-term monthly looks bearish right now. So the only thing for the monthly time frame that can actually save us is this 200 moving average down here, or some kind of big violent move that we get right back on this month. We still got something like 10 how many days, 12 days left. So if we can push this move towards the upside again here, maybe that can save us from this pattern that's playing out, and maybe we can continue towards the upside up here. But if we fail to get back above the 10 moving average on this month, then we are looking at this 35,000 level on the downside on the monthly time frame. 35 give or take 35,000 level, give or take, on the downside, the 20 moving average on the monthly. Because if you lose 35 level on the monthly, we got this 31 and 32, and if we even lose that, we are looking at some kind of 20-19k. I'm not looking anything less than 20-19k, although it can happen, like we can go down to some kind of 13k or whatever. But we gotta take it month by month, week by week, and see how that happens. But it's okay to from time to time to just look at what's happening on the monthly time frame. The daily, I'm telling you, the daily time frame, it does look bearish, and there are every time we try to get it back up, we fail towards downside. But these sideways moves are getting, I don't know if they're getting smaller or not. And I've seen people drawing the falling wedge as well. I've seen people drawing the falling wedge up here. I don't know how they do it, maybe something like this up here. You can see they're drawing the falling wedges, maybe something like this up here, give or take, falling wedges, and hoping that that's gonna pump us towards the upside. And that might be probability, but will the falling wedge play out? Will this pattern that I'm talking about play out? It kind of depends. But however you look at it, like, you cannot just keep on dumping. That's what I'm trying to say. It's really hard. You cannot just keep on dumping with these small moves towards downside. Eventually, you gotta have a bigger move towards downside and then continue dumping, because this just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. But how long more are we gonna keep on dumping? I don't know, guys. I don't know. And down here is a 31, 32 level that we cannot, we should not break for whatever reason. Because if you start breaking these levels down here on the monthly time frame, on the weekly, monthly time frame, it's gonna get really, really ugly. So we are getting close to some kind of button, maybe some kind of button. Anyways, guys, take care. See you around. Bye bye. Hey, hit the like button on the way out.